Hey everyone, and welcome back to Small Engine Edge. Today we're going to go over something that all of us small engine repair companies have seen a big boom of in the last few years, and that's battery operated equipment. Now, is this something your small engine repair shop should take on, or is this something you should leave to the dealers or to the Ace Hardwares or all of those people that are not you? Should you just stick with the gas and oil that runs through your blood? Very good question, right? Or should you soak up some of the profit that these things are bringing to the small engine side of things? Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as we go along if you enjoy the content. Us as a business, we have been working on battery operated equipment since it started. I mean, 8, 10 years ago when the Ego mowers came out, I don't even know exactly how long ago it's been, but it's been quite a while they've been making them. Well, first off, they came out, they were pretty bad design. They didn't last long. The boards and the wiring and everything were made pretty badly, and you couldn't get any parts at all for them. So what we were doing is we were buying complete units and actually parting them out, selling them on eBay and stuff. That or buying the Home Depot returns and doing the same thing. It was pretty profitable for us, but we learned a lot of things about the battery operated market at that point. Now, those Ego mowers, I would say, are some of the best out there, and that's just because they've been around the longest, so they've been able to kind of change the things that were causing issues to begin with. Nothing was without its problems in its infancy, especially with battery operated equipment. We see a ton of issues, and I think one of the big ones is that the wiring is undersized for the power and the demand that these lawn and garden items are actually going to need. And I don't think that most of these companies have quite figured that out yet. In my opinion, most of the stuff ends up being bad wires where the handles fold or where anything moves in the mower. Now, some of this stuff gets extremely expensive to fix, and it ends up not being worth repair. Say, for instance, this Greenworks 80 volt, right? The switch was bad. There's a couple pieces of plastic broke. The cost for this switch and the harness and for the couple pieces of plastic that are broke, along with our labor, is going to be more than them going and buying this whole piece of equipment out there. So they're just going to go buy a new one. Is that what Greenworks wants you to do? Probably so. They want you to go and throw it away and buy a new one. That drives sales. And I believe that's what a lot of these battery operated pieces of equipment are. They're throwaways. They're not meant to be fixed. They're meant to use it until you hit a large rock or hit a stump, and then you're going to toss it and go buy you a new bare tool for $250 and move on. Yes, a lot of that is the case, but there's many different situations where fixing it is going to be a good option. If you're already doing electrical testing pretty often, which most of us are if we're doing riding mowers and stuff like that, it's not going to be much different than what you're doing on a riding mower. You're testing continuity. You're making sure your switches are good. You're doing exactly the same things that you would be doing on any other piece of lawn equipment to diagnose a no start. So it's not going to be that much different in that aspect, but there are some areas where it is going to be a lot of difference. There's some areas where it's proprietary software that you need to hook up to some of these things. And then they do a lot of these harnesses and a lot of these switches as different potentiometers and different ways of doing things that most of us aren't very familiar with. Testing on something of that nature, of any of these battery operated equipments, again, should be fairly easy, but you will run into some issues. If you've got guys that work for you that aren't real good at the electrical side of things, there are a few different classes out there, but most of it, you've got to be a dealer in order to sign up for those classes and to be certified in those things. Is that an extra cost that you want to bear to put your people through to work on battery operated equipment? Now, we have plenty of work with all of our other stuff going on, but I've always liked the battery operated market. I've never really had too many issues with it, and the testing on it really isn't that difficult. You test all your switches out, you can ohm your wiring or test continuity back through the wiring, and it's pretty simple to diagnose a bad control board even without all their fancy software that they say you're going to need to diagnose it. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer to get involved in, but it depends on you. Are you staffed to the point where you are able to keep up with everything. Because battery operated equipment, you start telling people you work on it. I mean, we get hundreds and hundreds of pieces of equipment in, and some of these can take a longer diagnostic time than some of your other small engines can. So choose that very carefully as far as whether you're going to work on it or not. If you're a one-man show, again, if you're already very skilled in electrical testing, it may be a no-brainer for you also. But if you're overloaded with work already, something you might want to just turn down and say nope, and let Ace Hardware is doing a lot of these Egos and Ryobis. They're doing even the service work on them, which is very strange to me. But most of the time, they're diagnosing very easily. They're plugging it in, and it's telling them bad wiring harness, bad motor, bad controller, whatever the situation is. And it's very easy for them to diagnose. It doesn't take anybody but somebody who can plug in a plug and read the board. It's a technician. It's just like your car techs nowadays. A lot of that stuff is plug and play. Plug it in, read the code, figure out what's going on. If it's anything further than that, they're going to have a hard time figuring it out. Where we know how to trace down all the wiring, we would probably be able to figure that out a little bit differently than what they would. And some of the issues that aren't quite as straight, cut, and dry, those are going to be areas where we're really going to shine at. And I like the battery operated line, and I think that that's the future of things. If the government has their way within the next 10 or 15 years, gas-powered equipment would be completely banned. I don't think that'll ever happen on the commercial side, at least not in our lifetimes, but they're sure going to push for a lot of this consumer stuff to go that route. I'm in Illinois. We've already had a lot of gas-powered blower bans in certain parts of Illinois, certain towns, and ordinances against those. So the direction is going that way. In my opinion, as a business move, to get involved earlier rather than later is going to be a great thing for you. Whether you send somebody to learn the things or whether you do a little bit of research online. If you look at Ego actually has a lot of the service manuals out there where you can read them. You can figure out exactly how to test these things for some of the older and the newer models. And that's great for you. You'll learn a lot about all the other types of battery operated equipment just from taking a look at those. Now, the Ryobis and the Greenworks and some of the other ones, they're trying to keep it a little bit more proprietary without giving consumers or repair shops the ability to have those manuals to look into those things. But I have found there's been a few times where I've called if I've had an issue and I've been able to source a manual. So use that to try and get a service manual if you need one. But otherwise, again, continuity. 9 times out of 10, it's a wiring harness. Almost always on these things, it's the wiring harnesses that go bad. If it's intermittent, this Ryobi here, you can start the blades, and then as soon as you jiggle the wires down here where the handle folds, well, guess what? It stops working. Bad wiring harness, bad connection. The wires are just too small to withstand all the vibration that these things are going to get over the course of their life or while they're folding up and down. In my mind, for each and every one of you, or at least a majority of us, battery operated equipment is a no-brainer to work on, but there's going to be some instances where you're going to say, I don't want to mess with that, or why would I learn that? But if you're going to be around in this business for a long time in the future, you're going to have to learn some of this stuff. That's the bottom line. They're putting more and more of these electronic controls, the same kind of designs, on all of your riding mowers also. So we're all going to have to learn a lot more of it, get involved in it quick, and continue to build upon that skill. And by the time it's here on a mass scale, we'll already know all the things we need to know. Just my 2 cents on battery operated equipment. I'm going to go over this video on the other channel, just a little bit of a rundown. This is actually the first Cub Cadet 30-inch that I've seen with an electrical issue. Pretty easy one on this, but don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if I helped you out, and thank you for watching. I hope you guys continue to grow as we are each and every day and thrive in all that you do. Have a great day.